Welcome back to Introduction to Linguistics. Today we're going to continue on with some phonetics. Specifically the consonants. We're going to look at how we produce our consonants and how we transcribe them. I should mention, before this starts, I am a Western Canadian English speaker. My vowels and consonants might not be similar to yours. That is okay. So I'm going to do it how I say it, and you can do it how you say it. It's not wrong if that's how you say it, because we analyze what people say, not what people should say. So let's start off with some places of articulation. So consonants are going to have different areas where they're made. For instance, we have some words here: bilabial, labiodental, alveolar, palatal-alveolar, velar, and there are a few more places, but we won't get too specific about those. So yes, these are hard words, but these are important words to know when we describe sounds. So, bilabial means two lips. Labial is lip, and bi means two. So when we make bilabial sounds, what we do is we close the lips here. So, for instance, we have p, we have b, we have m, and those sounds are made at the lips. So we have P, B, and M. Now, labiodental sounds, what you'll see here is we have this lab, which lip, or labio, which means lip. And then we have dental. Now, of course, dental, usually when you go to the dentist, you work on your teeth. So a labiodental sound is when your lip usually goes right behind your teeth and makes a sound. For instance, f as in first, or v as in very, or maybe even, trying to think, do we have any other labiodental sounds? I don't think so. So these would be sounds like f and v. So that is when you bring your lip to your teeth. Any sound with a lip and a tooth is labiodental. Now, alveolar is a little bit more interesting because these are probably something that you haven't ever thought about. It's not a big part of your mouth, but when you put your tongue up and you feel this little ridge, you feel this little hard part right before your teeth. So if you take your tongue, put it against your top teeth, and you pull your tongue back, eventually your tongue will start sliding up. That hard part right before you slide up, that's your alveolar ridge. And we make a lot of sounds there. In fact, we make a t there. So we have our T. We make a d. That's our D. We make a nasal sound, an n there. Your N for no. And those are pretty much the biggest sounds that we make there. So that's a pretty big part. Now, palatal alveolar gets a little bit more interesting, because now what we do for we have alveolar here. So, whoa, all my letters went away. Alveolar. So, alveolar, we still use that ridge, but this palatal means that we take the palate. So this is about in this location here, behind it. So some sounds we make there are sh for shoot, or zh for azure or measure. These are sh and zh. Now that I'm thinking, another alveolar sound we can make is s for soup, or z for zoom. So we have an S and a Z there. Should be very precise to not write the letters in any which way that you want. It's important to make sure that I don't add a cross there for the Z, because that could be a different sound. So palatal alveolar is a little bit behind the alveolar ridge. Now, velar sounds, this is probably a place that you've never thought of in your life. This is this area right here in blue. And velar sounds is when you bring the back of your tongue upwards towards your velum and you make a sound. So we have sounds like k as in kick, as a K. We have a g sound as in group. And we have a sound like this for the word sing. So That makes that NG sound that we're used to. So those are the different parts of the mouth. There are clearly sounds that I've missed here, and we'll get to those. But those are some just general basics and different sounds that you can make in these different locations. So it's important to know the words and where they are and the types of sounds they can make. So those are the place of articulation. So now that we know the places, we should probably look at the manners. So I have all these different sounds, but all the sounds are different. So we have stops, and stops are where the airflow is stopped and released. So a sound like p, we close our lips and then we let out a puff of air. So p is a stop because we have stopped airflow and we pushed it through. Similarly with b, same way. Or t, as in taxes. We also stop airflow rate at our alveolar ridge. D for death. K, we do the same thing. We do it back at the velum. We stop airflow at the velum and then we let it through. Similarly, G for group. And do we have any other stops? Technically, nasal sounds like M for music, N for night, and N for sing, we do make an obstruction and it goes through the nasal cavity instead, so it comes out of our nose. But we usually put these in brackets because they're not necessarily real stops, but they're classified as stops. Fricatives are sounds like S or F, any sound where there's continuous airflow. Another word we use here is turbulent airflow. I like continuous because it's a little bit more consistent with phonology when we give features to sounds. But again, these are sounds like the F sound in fridge or V in very. We have S as in soup. Z, we have another sound Z. This is a Z for zoom. We have sh for shire. We have j for measure. I'm trying to think of other ones. We have the lowercase theta, the th sound for thought or think. We have the eth for sounds like though or although. So that's that vibrating theta sound. And I believe that about covers all of the fricatives we have in English. I might be missing one, but I think that's most of them. And of course then we have nasals, which are these sounds right here. And nasals generally are stops, so it's kind of a weird classification we have there. But this is when we raise our velum, so this is where we make our k sounds. We raise it. Of course, you're not doing this consciously, it just happens. It raises and the airflow goes through the nasal cavity. So we let the air flow through our nose instead, and those are nasal sounds. So those are the big ones. There is one more sound that I'll get to in a little bit. Now the third part of how sounds are made is the glottis state. So we've done place of articulation, we've done manner of articulation, and now we have the glottis. So we have two types of sounds. Well, they're the two main types of sounds. There's more, I'm not going to introduce them, but these are voiceless and voiced. So sounds always come in pairs when they're consonants. They come in a voiceless version and a voiced version. In the voiceless, the vocal folds are loose and separated, so they look like this diagram. And then when they're voiced, they're tight and closed, so you'll see something like this where the purple is, and this will fill in, it'll be very tight, and it'll vibrate. So that looks totally inappropriate, but it would vibrate. So some of the pairs we have are p and b. P is voiceless, b is voiced. We have our t's and our d's. We have our k's and our g's, our thetas and our eths. our S's and our Z's. So we have a lot of pairs. We have our sh and our zh. What else do we have? We have our f and our v. And of course we do have more, but I just can't think of them right now. So our voiceless come with voiced when we have consonants. And the only distinction there is that the vocal folds are either tight and vibrating or they're loose and separated. So these are the distinctions. And when we take a look at our IPA chart, I have all the English consonants here. These are noted by being left and right. The left one is always voiceless. So left is voiceless, and the right one is voiced. So when we take a look at our T and D pair, our T is voiceless, our D is voiced. When we have a look at nasals, we only have voiced nasals. It just happens because we have to vibrate to get the air through our nose. Sort of a lie, but that is something that we have to do. So we can see some more pairs, our F and our V, our theta, our EV, an S and a Z, and we have some other types of sounds here that I'm going to go over. One is the approximate R. So this is the sound. It's an approximant in English. The R sound, the R symbol is for the trill when people can roll their R's. I cannot roll my R's, so I am not going to attempt it, but the regular R symbol is used for trills. So we use this upside down R for the sound. We have lateral approximants, which is just a L sound. So and L, they're pretty similar sounds. We have the Y as an approximant as well, and we also have glottal sounds. So if we go a little bit past the velum into our throat, we have a H sound, and we have this question mark sound here, which is over on the left. This glottal, and a good example of this is in the word uh-huh. Now, where is this sound in uh-huh? It's this sound right here. It's the dash. It's that pause between the and the huh that this glottal sound is. It's not a pause because glottal activity is still going on, but it's its own distinct sound. So over on the left here, I'm going to give you some examples of words with these sounds. So this theta as in think, this eth as in although, this sh or this integral sign makes the sh sound. So we have ship. This zh sound is the same sound in measure. This in sing, and of course this sound in the dash. I made the sound there, so if you can hear it, something's wrong. But those are a little bit of the trickier symbols to memorize. The other ones I think are pretty straightforward to memorize. Two sounds I did not go through are affricates. Affricates are a combination of a stop and a fricative. So they're made in succession. So here we have a t sound followed by a sh sound, except they're co-articulated. They're made at the same time. So we have t and sh going at the same time. So let's do that really fast. Ch, ch, ch. Okay, so what does that sound like? What about cheese? Okay. Ch, ease, ch, ease. So this is the t and sh sound at the same time, and we get ch. Its voiced counterpart, so this one is voiced, this top one is voiceless, is just a d followed by a j. So we have j, 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 judge. Judge is a very good word for this. So we have judge. Now what's cool about this word is that in the word judge, this sound is made twice. It's made with the J here, and it's made with the DGE there. So you can see why we need phonetics, because we have the same sound in one word twice, except it's using 5 letters to do it, when really, it should really just look like this. Or maybe it should look like this. Who knows, man? It's the same sound, but it's spelled differently in the same word. So those are affricates. We only have 2 in English. So those are the consonants. That's what we're going to look at today. And we should do some transcription. So we're going to do some practice. I don't expect you to know all of them right now, but you should go over that chart and you should memorize it, play around with the mouth, and see where the sounds are. In fact, I should mention, on the left here, it says plosive. That's a stop. You know what nasals are, you know what fricatives are, and these approximate lateral approximants, you don't quite need to know the definition for those in this course, but these are the different sounds, and of course you know bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, postalveolar. Postalveolar is the same as palatal alveolar, and then you have the velar sounds. So this chart represents everything. So you need to know all the sounds that are listed here, except for that trill. So that is what you should know. So to do that, here's some practice. So take a piece of paper, write them on your own, or think in your head, what symbol should go there? Okay, first word, pitch. Well, we can do this sound by sound. P. P. Okay, that's a P. P, I, ch, ch. Well, ch is that sound that I just made. It's that affricate sound. So it's a T and a sh at the same time. So that's a ch. What about mango? Okay, well we have m. So that's an M. It's pretty straightforward. Now me, a, n. So we have that ng sound. That's our velar sound. So that's what we get at the end of ing. Usually NGs make ng sounds. And then we have go. Mango. So that's going to be a G sound for g. So that's mango. What about blast? Okay, well b is going to be a b. L, bla. We have an L here, an a. Then we have a s. So let's get an S in there, and a t for the T. So this one's pretty straightforward, of course, just to show that they're not all crazy transcriptions. What about yes? Well, we have that y sound, and that's a glide, so we get that little J there for a y. Then we have e, and then we have s, so we have this S at the end. So now we have pitch, mango, blast, and yes. So those are some nice sound differences. So now that we've transcribed words, we should also be able to talk about a sound. This is something you'll likely get as a multiple choice. And these are really good multiple choice. Sometimes they're good written questions because it's saying, okay, given a sound, is it voiced? Is it in your oral cavity or nasal cavity? Where is it located? And what type of sound is it? So for a D, it's voiced. It's in our oral cavity. When we make a D, we make it at our alveolar ridge. And it's a stop because we block airflow and then release it. So what about F? F. Okay, well, F is voiceless. We know it's voiceless because when we put our hands on our necks and we feel our vocal folds, we don't feel any vibration. For F, you don't get that feeling there. It goes through the oral cavity because it's not a nasal. We put that in brackets because when we distinguish something not going through our oral cavity, we call it a nasal sound. So it's redundant, but it's good to know. When we make this F sound, it involves our lips and it involves our front teeth. So because it's a lip and teeth sound, we call it a labiodental. So F takes our lips and our teeth, and it's continuous. We can repeatedly make the sound. We can hold the sound. If we can hold the sound, it's probably a fricative. So in this case, it is. So you can either memorize the chart, or you can make the sound and figure it out yourself. Okay, what about sh? Okay, sh is voiceless because we can't feel the vibration. It's an oral sound. It comes through our oral cavity, our lips. Well, it goes out of our lips, it goes out of our mouth, so it's oral. Now, where is it located? Well, let's take sh. Okay, I can't really feel where it is. So, let's try moving our tongue forward and see what we get. Okay, we start with sh. Okay, when we move our tongue forward, we get that S sound. We get that alveolar sound. So that way sh must be a little bit behind that. So we know that's a palatal alveolar sound, or a post-alveolar sound. And it's continuous, so we call it a fricative. Okay, what about Well, it's not going through our mouth, so it's a nasal. And because it's a nasal, we know it's voiced. So that's going to be a voiced nasal. Now, where is it located? Well, it feels at the back of our throat where our K's and G's are. That's going to be a velar sound. And, is it a stop, a fricative, whatever? Well, it is a stop, but we put that in brackets because this nasal implies stop. So, the stop here is optional to write. So that was some description practice. If I write an exam for this course online at trevtutor.com, I will likely just make this multiple choice. I think description questions are good, as well as transcription questions. So that was consonants. Next time we'll look at vowels, producing them, transcribing them, same way we did this one, and then I'll probably do one more video just wrapping everything together. So that was the first half of phonetics. So if you enjoyed the video, like it, share it. If you have any questions, leave comments below, and I will see you guys next time.